1780 in Mount Vernon. So this actually came from George Washington's home. If you look at it, the rope is not from 1780. This whole thing was redone, and actually a couple times. It says on the front, in 1890 is when the new head was put on it. And what's actually kind of cool about it too, and we don't have time for everybody at the moment, but if you want to at the end, the guy who designed this, his name is carved on the inside, which we heard actually is what most designers do, even with drums to this day. Their name is on the inside. So there's a little hole down here in the bottom. We can take a light and shine a light in, and you actually can read the guy's name on the inside. But this came from Mount Vernon in 1780. The last thing we'll hand around in this section is these are, and I'm muzzle sweeping you, I apologize. But, okay, so these are also pistols from the Revolution. Only officers had pistols at that time. And generally officers were mounted, so we actually have a pistol scabbard in a case over there where they would have two pistols, and on the back of every one of the muskets, the pistols, the actual long gun muskets, there's a metal plate, and the reason was after you fired, you're mounted on horseback, you're riding through guys, you got a really good club with a metal butt plate on the back. This one is a little more similar to what would have been known as a dueling pistol. And right, so even Alexander Hamilton, right, like this is very similar to what they would have used at that kind of situation. So these are two pistols also from back that Revolutionary era we'll hand around. Two more things and then we got to move to the next section. This is one of my favorite muskets that we own.
Absolutely, that's beautiful.
This one it's also a Brown Bess, which the Brown Bess is the one the British and the Americans used. But this one came after the American Revolution. At least we know it was used after the American Revolution. The first war we fought as an American people. So after the Revolution, we have the Constitution, we become an American people. This was in the first war we fought as an American people. And with school trips, I always make the kids guess. I'm not going to make you guess because I respect you more. Kind of. But, okay, the first war we fought in after we became an American people was not the War of 1812. It was the Barbary Pirates War, right? There were 5 North African nations, which I think the Marines' birthday, 244 years, is, I think, today, right?
Right.
Okay? So the Marine Corps anthem is from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Tripoli is North Africa, the very first time the Marines were ever deployed. It was with the Navy. This is...
And Tripoli back then was not a town, it was a nation. The nation of Tripoli.
Okay.
It's Libya today.
This is a musket that was taken off of one of the Muslim pirate ships. And so the first war on terror we fought in America all the way back in the Founding Fathers era. And Thomas Jefferson is actually the guy who sent our Navy and sent the Marines to go fight the terrorists. And the reason was, at the time, at the end of the Revolution, the British had always protected our trade ships. And so as the revolution happens, we're no longer friends with the British. They're not protecting our trade ships. So Muslim pirates were attacking and capturing trade ships. They were trying to ransom back, trying to make money off things. They were enslaving people. They were executing people all along the process. Well, as we're trying to negotiate this, two of the guys that got sent to negotiate are Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. When they came back, they said, it's crazy to us. They're telling us that their religion tells them they're supposed to attack people that don't believe what they believe, even if we've done nothing wrong. And what they understood coming back is they said the only way we can have peace with them is we have to fight well or we have to pay well. It's the only two options we have. Well, at the time, we didn't have a Navy. We had not built one yet, and so we didn't have even the capacity to fight well, quote unquote. Well, George Washington becomes president. The Muslim nations are enforcing a tax against the American people to say, if we're going to let your trade ships go, you have to give us this much money a year. 10% of the federal budget under George Washington actually was given to those nations in North Africa for them to not attack our trade ships.
Wow.
Now, speaking of, right here on this side of the page is the very first printing of the very first federal budget. That is the very first federal budget. It fits on, and it's not even a full page. It's part of one page. So we'll hand this around. You guys can see it. Well, what's interesting is George Washington, actually, you can